And a welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here with us this morning inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Open for sales and service Monday through Saturday. And you could get more information, plus get a sneak peek of their inventory by going to greatlakeshondacity.com. Here inside of MonPazPopcorn.com is what's popping, giving you the list of topics and guests for the day. We'll start the show off with our Dolphin Dive with Adam Zaczkowski, no stranger to the broadcast. He'll be here with me today. The Le Moyne men's and women's swimming and diving head coach will speak with me on a lot of different topics, including the Tour de France, as well as the U.S. Open for swimming and life in general. So a lot of good stuff coming up with Adam in just a moment. And in hour number 2, we'll have Andrejas A.J. Duerig, who will be joining me from Syracuse Orange football history. Andrejas and I will be speaking on his time at Syracuse, as well as the next chapter of his life, working for Big Brothers Big Sisters, what that's done for him, and he's gotten into sports cards, and he's a big old Minnesota Viking fan. So we're going to be talking about a lot of things going on in that world as well. So here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life, inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. We appreciate you being here, and we're going to start things off with Mr. Zaczkowski here, picture in picture with us. Adam, how are we doing this morning?
Dan, I'm doing well. Good morning. How are you?
Doing very well. Doing good here. Like I told you, I think I need some pool work, but besides that, I'm doing well and happy to have you here this morning on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Once again, the Le Moyne men's and women's swimming and diving head coach. And so I know that you and I were talking off the air about this, but recruiting, just what that world has been like for you now as we step into year 3 of the reclassification from NCAA Division II to Division I, the recruiting footprint, and if you want to share maybe where some of these travels take you.
Yeah, so well, let's go back 25 years, right? When I was recruited to come to Le Moyne, once I made the choices to come swim at Le Moyne, I showed up on campus and I was kind of like this unique commodity because I came from Connecticut and not central New York or not New York, and people were, wondering how I got here. And I ended up going to a Jesuit high school, so the connection to Le Moyne was easy at that point. But what we've seen, Dan, from a recruiting standpoint, is that we're attracting swimmers from not only the continental United States, from across the world. We're on the team now, we have Texans and Floridians, North Carolinians, Coloradans, folks from Canada and New Zealand. We'll be hosting some recruits from the UK coming up in the next couple weeks. Hosted a recruit from Montana last week. And so, we are just drawing from a nationwide pool now that, no pun intended, that that's just unique to what we've had here in the past. And so we all speak the same swimming language, but it's nice to kind of get a different sense of what people are used to and what people are looking for. And it's neat that it's all kind of coalescing around the pool at Le Moyne College.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean this footprint in the last, quarter century and what it's done and how it has expanded itself to have so many different places, different states and around the world to be able to do that. And, for you, because you have, I mean, not only do you have student athletes that are here, from different places, you have so many of them. So when you're overseeing this, what does that do for you as a coach to really get a pulse on so many different parts of the country as well as different parts of the world, and how that goes beyond swimming for you?
Well, swimming is the shared experience, so it doesn't really matter where you are from around the world or the country. You still kind of get the general gist of it, and no matter where you are. Michael Hahn from New Zealand hopped in the pool the first time and swam kind of the opposite way that we do. Kind of figured that was going to happen, but and then our Canadians call lane lines lane ropes, and that's okay. But it really has come down to the fact that we're all here for the same reason, right? We're here to be excellent students. We're here to be excellent in the pool. We're campus leaders, and and we're getting degrees to go do great things. And so swimming is our common bond, but after that, it's we're we're together as a Finn family.
Yeah, and having that family approach, I know that you get to do something fun here, and I love to shout this out. You have two boys, and you're going to
Yeah.
be having some fun on the road with one of your boys. Now, was this a straw test? Was this a flip a coin? How did one of your boys get this opportunity to go hang out with you for a little while?
Yeah, so we're gonna hit the road on a recruiting trip out to Colorado. We're lucky that we're bringing in a girl named Caitlin Fawcett from Aurora, Colorado. She's a dynamic person, dynamic swimmer, and for some reason you get one, you get them all. And so we've had significantly a significant uptick in interest from folks in Colorado. So end of next week, we're going to be going on the road out to Colorado to meet with some of our potential class of 26ers coming interested at Le Moyne. And when Noah this year he was in second grade at Tecumseh here, and he did a presentation about the state of Colorado. And so I thought it was kind of awesome that we could find a way that he could tag along while we're on the road doing talking about Le Moyne, and he gets to see Colorado all at the same time. So we're excited to get going on that end of next week.
And he'll see Colorado before I do. I was told that there's a lot of great things about Colorado, so I'm going to
Mhm.
have to ask him now. Where should I
Yep.
eat? What should I look for? What should we be doing? Adam
Yep.
Zaczkowski here with us this morning. I know you want to talk about the Tour de France and get you, but I do want to get your thoughts on this
Yeah.
because this goes back though. Lance Armstrong, right? They
Yeah.
asked him, did he take anything, any steroids, any performance enhancing, and he was mad and he said no, right? Do you really think like what is your belief in the world of Lance Armstrong? Is your belief like yes he did and it helped him? No he didn't. I don't want to believe it, but it's true. Where do you stand with that with Lance?
I think that if you look at the history of cycling, going back to the even before the mid '90s, you had cyclists die on the side of the road in the Tour de France in the '60s with with methamphetamine overdose. So unfortunately, I think in that sport, doping has been around forever. And I just actually read a book by Tyler Hamilton, who was also a Tour de France rider in the Armstrong era, and he talks about the fact that not only did he do it, but he saw many other people do it, and he was a part of it. And one of the messages that he left at the end of the book was he said, I really had two choices. I could either dope and keep my job and do what I love, or I couldn't or didn't, and I wouldn't have a job and I wouldn't be able to compete. And he goes, what choice would you make? And I thought that was a really pointed comment of
Yeah.
let's not throw stones before in that situation, right? I wish I could tell you that the answer would be, of course, you'd never do that. But then again, if it's that or not, I think it's a really good question. So, anyways, Armstrong came out and talked about
Yeah.
doing certain things, and when he was on the national stage, I mean, it took the nation by storm. But come to find out that I'm sure he was doing something, and I don't think it changed the specialness of what actually happened. I think the entire peloton was EPO and transfusions and what other things that they could do without getting caught. So it is what it is. I think it kind of scarred the sport for a while, and I still think even to this day that they're dealing with the ghosts of that doping scandal.
Yeah. I wouldn't disagree with you on that. I do. I do listen when it because I love to ride a bike. I love to go out there and challenge myself and whatnot. And you're like, this is fun for like an hour, and this is fun to go around Onondaga Lake Parkway, and this is fun to go up a trail or maybe take it out to Oswego and this and that. But then when you see what they're doing, you're like, oh, okay, like this is like all day. This is all weekend. This is, I mean, there's some things that are beyond just any type of human recognition when you see I don't want to say human recognition. It's human in the sense of like your brain can't fathom because you think it's easy, right? Well, they're just riding a bike. What's the big deal? And then you see what they're doing, how long they're doing it for, and all of these. And they say, when you're running a race, that it's not about starting out of the gate fast. It's about sustaining your speed, sustaining that,
Right.
keeping your endurance. And when you're riding a bike, to me, it's the same thing. It's, can you last? You want to have that burst at the end, yeah, if you need it, but
Mhm.
can you last all the way through? And so, I know you wanted to talk about the Tour de France today. What is it that's on your mind about the Tour that is currently top of mind for you?
Well, what's interesting, you talk about the energy. I think that, as a swim coach, I'm really interested in kind of the nutrition side of how it works and how they keep these guys, well, and the women's Tour de France is going on now. These men and women, they keep them fueled all day, right? And how are they providing sustenance on a bike over a 4, 5, 6 hour ride that allows them to maintain, the energy levels? And so how do we correlate what we're seeing with the carbohydrate intake with these tour riders into swimming, and how do I balance that carbohydrate intake at a practice level so that, during our 2 hours of swimming we can maintain a certain energy level? So for me, it's both scientific in terms of what they're doing and how we can translate that, I'm fascinated by it because they ride 2,000, 2,100 miles over 23 days. And, there's just from a physical exertion standpoint, they're able to get back up on that bike the next day over and over and over again. And it's just, it's amazing from an endurance athlete standpoint of how they can consistently do it and consistently go through the pain and get back up. And yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I'm looking at the men's Tour de France and going back and looking at some of these things on their website, and
Mhm.
there's an Italian ranked in the top two. So I just want to give him a shout out for representing the home country. So, but I mean, so like you said, the nutrition side of it interests you. Are you someone who's like watching this thing? Do you have it on your phone? Are you getting updates? Do you watch it when you're home? Like, how are you involving yourself with it? Because I always find it interesting of something that is of endurance that takes time. Are people kind of periodically checking in, or are you right on it the whole time?
Uh, I'm kind of a junkie, so I'm on it all the time. I'm the stages are 4 hours. I have them on my computer or on my TV at the office. Sorry, Phil. Paying attention to some other stuff here too, but we're I'm following along. And every stage has its own profile. Every stage has its own excitement points, and so and you watch these guys and these teams work together, and then get ready to do certain moves, or conversely blocking other teams so that they're unable to do certain moves. And there's a lot of just subtleties that, yes, it takes that long, but well, I'm an endurance guy, so it takes a while to get it done. So but watching that as the things mature from kind of the starting point, you watch the teams do what they're going to do, you see how they move up through the peloton, or how they're doing certain things, and it's amazing that they can get all of that done at the same time in unison.
Yeah, and it's like I'm looking at the map of just where they go through and
Yeah.
everything, and I mean it's you get to see France. I mean, you get to really see all these different nooks and crannies, and I mean, this is amazing. There's actually one of the riders that's playing with a soccer ball and stuff. So it's kind of cool to like see them do different things and get involved in different ways. But I'm just looking at all of this right now. I love, obviously technology and the videos and how we could see things. But, when I would ask you this question, because I know that, you like to go out there, grab your bike and ride as well. So if you were in the cluster, right, and you're
Yeah.
amongst all these people, What are your thoughts on like how do you separate yourself? Like, do you kind of just hang back and watch some people bang into each other? Do you kind of just like watch everything happen and then take off? Are you one of those people that kind of leans a little bit this way? Because obviously, when they get all congested like that, you're wondering, are people honestly bumping into each other? Are they purposefully bumping into each other? So when we see those moments, right, which is on a bike, it's in
Mhm.
a foot race, and it's also when you're inside of a car when we're talking about NASCAR or Andretti and whatnot. What are your thoughts when we are in that close contained situation?
Well, it's interesting from the tour standpoint. You watch some of these crashes that take place. Stage three, Jesper Philipsen was the green jersey holder. He got cut off by another guy. Wheels touched. He ended up crashing, shattering his shoulder collarbone at 40 miles an hour. And so you see those kinds of crashes happening, and sometimes there's fault, sometimes there's not fault. It happens, and you see it. So I think in terms of the race, I think you see the best teams, the best riders keep themselves out of those areas um, where they can get into trouble.
Yeah.
But for me, I think I'm kind of a stay on the periphery kind of guy. I think I realize from an energy standpoint not the place to be in bike racing, but I think that's the safest place to be. So I think I'm a periphery guy, and you make the moves when you have to. I was lucky enough when I was younger to actually do a little bit of bike racing, and so I know what it was like to be in those fields, and so um, I guess that's maybe why it's also near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, you got to be a part of it. What were your takeaways? What were maybe the things that kind of last with you? And then secondly, do you feel like the swimmer in you that paralleled when you were on the bike?
Yeah, so I most of my bike racing had to do through triathlon. So I was only triathlon, and so I got to combine swimming, biking, and running. And it's funny, when you talk to folks in triathlon world, and they're the swimmers, the swim is never long enough. You talk about the bikers, the bike's never long enough, or the runners, the run's never long enough. So it all depends on your perspective, but just being in a group of riders and the ability to kind of just go, and there's a freeing sensation when you can get your body to go that fast, whether it's uphill, downhill, you're able to just do things, kind of cars like speed that you just can't do other ways. And so I think there's something really special about the ability to do that.
Yeah, and we talk about the swimming side of things. There's the U.S. Open for golf. There's the U.S. Open for
Yeah.
tennis. There's also a U.S. Open in the world of swimming. So what can you tell us about that as the world continues to confuse us about? I mean, just call it something like give me like U.S. Swimming Open or U.S. Golf. Just put the word in between, because when people say U.S. Open, my normal response, because of the ones that have been covered the most, I go tennis or golf. Like, what are we talking
Right.
about here? So
Right.
the U.S. Open for swimming, bring me into that.
Yes. Yeah. So, um, about 10 days ago, we had Lucas Clay, who was our team MVP for the 24-25 year, was competing was competing this summer, and he qualified for the U.S. Swimming U.S. Open. And, of course, things in swimming, we can make things easy or we can make them not so easy. So, in international swimming, Dan, races are competed in meters.
Yeah.
So a 50-meter pool. That's what you see when you're watching the Olympics. But domestically here in the United States, primarily speaking, we swim in yards or 75 feet, 25-yard pools. And so Lucas was competing in a 50-meter pool and qualified for the U.S. Opens. His time that he went was, top 70 in the country, top 300 in the world. And so we're starting to get into some rarefied air with his ability and kind of what we're able to do in terms of training and competing. But yeah, he qualified U.S. Open. It's a you use the U.S. Open to qualify for more advanced meets like university games, and it kind of sets you up really for, an Olympic trial swim,
Yeah.
2, 3 years from now. And so we're excited to get going there December 3rd through the 6th down at the University of Texas in Austin. And we'll be swimming against some of the best swimmers in the world, current and future Olympians, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and like you said, top 70 in the United States of America, top 300 in the entire world. I mean, the amount of pride and excitement that you must have as a coach, knowing how much you care about your student athletes, has to be immeasurable. But yeah, I mean, just did you see this in him? Did you see like, hey, there's a shot that this could really happen, or did you kind of just take a step back and say, wow, he went to that other gear. He just turned on something else.
Uh, I'd be lying to you to say that I thought it was going to happen. At the end of the school year in May, he was playing basketball, went up for a dunk, landed, slipped, fell,
Yeah.
broke his wrist. So candidly, no, I didn't. I thought maybe he would be, hopefully have an easy rehab and hopefully have an ability to get in the water maybe this year without pain. I mean, that was my hope, so that we could have some kind of normalcy, getting back into September. So candidly, no, I didn't really see that as a reality, not because he was physically unable to do it, but because I thought, the injury was going to hold him back. Clearly it didn't. So I think the moral of the story here, and kind of bring this whole thing back to recruiting, is that in 2008, Allison Lesher won the Division II national championship in the 200 butterfly. And, now 15, 18 years later, we now have a guy who's going to be swimming against the best swimmers in the world. And you can do amazing things at Le Moyne. Um, and, we talk about Le Moyne being a little gem on the hill. And the reality is that you can reach for the stars here at Le Moyne, every day of the week.
Yeah, and then going back to this, and I'm just looking at your post here. Lucas Clay qualifies for the U.S. Swimming U.S. Open 2025 in the men's 100-meter breaststroke, 1:03.65. He's the number one seed entering the finals at the time that you wrote this. Long course championships in Austin, Texas. Here we come. The update: Clay betters his time to 1:02.96, unofficial top 75 in the nation and near top 300 worldwide, as you had put out there. And then after that, saying that he was only 0.77 seconds off a Team USA 2024 Olympic trials cut time.
Yep.
That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
It is insane. Now, like, usually USA Swimming will adjust the Olympic trial cut times. So
yeah.
I suspect that those will get faster. But the reality of the situation is that because we got to this point, I think that now there's a belief, and as a coach, you have belief in your athletes, but I think sometimes you need to have the athletes believe in themselves. And I think that he now sees it. And, eyes are wide open now, right? Incrementally, it's going to be very difficult, very challenging. It's the hardest thing to do that I've ever seen. And so, but we'll get there. As a coach, I've been there with other athletes. We'll get him to those heights as far as he wants to go.
Yeah, and Lucas, shout out to you. We will be watching. We will be supporting all the student athletes there on that swimming and diving team. And to the many that I've spoken to over the years, God bless all of you. And thank you for all of that positive that you brought into my life. And, of course, Gina, and recently here, and everybody. So we're going to play some rapid fire here with Adam Zaczkowski in this edition of the Dolphin Dive. Adam, you get the first question. What do you have?
Thinking about this one. No, where are you going next for your travels?
Where am I going next for my travels? That's a good question. I just got back from Charlotte. So I'm probably going to sneak down to Orlando.
Okay.
I like the Epic Universe too much. And I do have to go down and do my draft with my guys. I think we're in year 14 of our fantasy football draft, so I do have to go down there soon. So I would venture to believe that Orlando will be the next trip.
There you go.
My question back to you. What from the moment that you and I met and Bob introduced us to now,
Yeah.
what would you say of our time? I'm going to leave it way open ended. What would you say of our time together over these last many years?
Well, I'm grateful that I had the ability to, be around the you and Bob and how you guys work together. But I guess I'm more grateful that you and I have become, yes, we have a professional relationship, but we've become more friendly, and we've been, and you know my family now, and so I'm grateful that we've had the ability to become friends, and uh, you know, I've got to see what you get to do professionally. You get to see what I do professionally. I think there's a different level of respect once you kind of see the nitty gritty of what people do. Um, because in the sports world, you see the swim meet, right? You don't see the practice. You don't see all the hours and the getting up at 4 in the morning and all that stuff. And in your world, no one sees the production side of it and the hours that you put in getting guests. And so it's just a different level of respect. And that's what it is for me.
I would say the same for you. Very grateful to have you in my life as a friend. What's your next question for me?
Next question for you. All right, I know you're down ACC last week, getting all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Does the ACC have a shot to be competitive relative to the SEC in football this year?
It's a good question. I think Alabama's probably a little pissed off. I think that yeah,
No,
just a
no.
little. I think I think I think Auburn, because they always have like an uptick. They'll be down for a couple and they'll come back. I think Florida's on the uptick potentially. I think Georgia's obviously there. I think LSU might be doing some things, but Brian Kelly made a little mistake of calling Clemson or Death Valley Junior. I don't know why he said that type of nonsense, but I think Clemson will be competitive. I think SMU will be competitive. Arguably Miami. So will they compete with the SEC? Maybe Clemson, but I think the SEC's got. I think the SEC might see some of their premier teams maybe have a little moment of dip, but I think they're going to have more involved. So I don't. I don't think it's like by volume. I don't think that the ACC is going to have as many when it comes to the SEC, like nationally. But I do hope that they make it interesting. But if I had to pick a team, I'd probably say Clemson. In the SEC, I think there's a bunch that could make a little effect
Right.
this year. And I think Ohio State, I mean, they got a new quarterback. They got to figure it out. Drew Aller at Penn State's got to figure it out in the Big Ten as well. So we'll see what that looks like. Can Michigan do more than have a good end to their season? So
Mhm.
a lot of question marks. And then the Big 12, who's there? They still don't have an identifier. So who's that going to be? Is it going to be Baylor? Is the question, I guess I would say.
Right.
My question back to you, if you and I were playing on a college football team right now, what position would you put yourself and where would you put me?
All right. Well, for me, I think I would be probably free safety or strong safety.
Okay.
I think that I don't know why I've always kind of whenever we played, pickup football in the backyard, I kind of always went to that kind of that position. I'm not sure why I don't have a good answer for you. I think probably because from a catching standpoint, I don't have really great hands, so I'm really good at not catching the ball. So defense, there we go.
Okay.
Um, I- you know, if I don't include your size, I think that you're going to be somebody like a tight end or a fullback. I think that you like to kind of get down and dirty. Uh, but I think that kind of knowing your personality, you're also down for business. And I think that those positions are maybe not the most premier in terms of star power, but they're the ones that kind of make the engine go.
Well, I appreciate that and I respect that. And it was funny in high school. I was talking, one of the guys that was on the football team that I think played D end, he had said to me, Brendan, he was like, I see what you do. Like, I see when we're in gym class, I see how you move out of things. And he's like, I think you'd be a good running back. I'm going to talk to coach. And then the coach said that, allegedly, the coach said that I needed to gain 100 pounds. And I was like, where am I going to put that? So I was like, no, thank you. I'm okay. But when we
Yeah.
do play, I like playing running back. And I do like when I'm playing quarterback that if they do certain things, like if you come at me, because they can only sack once every whatever our rule was, but if they
Mm.
came in to try and sack me, that's when, and I would just wait for it. Like they just be out there playing defense. The moment that they cross that line, it's like something turns on and then I can take off. And I love the opportunity to take off and run. But yeah, the down and dirty, like you said, the sometimes thankless job, but the job that has to be there, the fullback and the tight end being an extension of the line, a protection of the quarterback and the running back. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say I do like being in positions to help others, and I don't need to be thanked. I just need to make sure I get the job done. So,
So I didn't take you for a Cordell Stewart thing, but that's okay, Slash. We can go with that. I'm all right with that.
when I first touched the football, I could actually kick it, and then the more I started throwing it and catching it, I will say this: I do trust my hands. I do
Yeah.
trust my hands. So that would be fun in practice if you and I could challenge each other. You could play safety, and I could be wide receiver, and we can go out there and see what we got. But what is
There
your
you go.
final question for me?
You've been around the NEC, you've been around the ACC, you've seen kind of, I'm going to call it the premier leagues in college sports and let's say the up and coming leagues. And with where you see the house settlement, and I'm going to call it what it appears to be the new direction of college, um, how do the mid majors and the little guys, how do they compete?
You find kids that care about more than money. You find kids that care about their education. You find kids that were raised with the understanding and the realization that there is life after sports and that less than 4% of NCAA athletes ever make it professionally. You find people with purpose. I'm not saying that the people that go and get money don't have a purpose, and I'm not saying that they don't care. There just has to be a realization of it. I mean, Nico Imaeva, the quarterback at Tennessee, he's a perfect example of how you need student and student athlete. He's at Tennessee. He's making this money. There's no Tennessee state tax. He's making like whatever it was, $2 million, let's say. And he goes off to California thinking I'm going to make more money at UCLA, but he doesn't realize California state law. So he's making less money than he made at Tennessee to make more money that he thought he was going to make. And that's a basic math problem. So he probably should have went to class and learned that. So, to me, it's like moments like that are funny, but also real. Like you got to understand things that go far beyond, ooh, somebody's paying me. So, and I'm not knocking him. I'm using it as an example of just, not knowing the state law and not understanding what was going on. And if you make a move that's, and I'm not saying he did, but if you make a move that's purely money, what is that going to do for you? And, Tennessee was in the college football playoff. UCLA hasn't been good in a long time. So to leave a college football playoff team in the SEC to go to the Big Ten country that has 18 schools and you're UCLA and you got to cross a bunch of time zones just to play a conference game seems kind of, ridiculous to do that. But when you focus on maybe just money, you don't think about all the other pieces of it. And so, I think the NEC, you got to lean on what matters. You got to lean on what's important. And I've met a lot of people around the country, and there's a lot of good kids out there that work really, really hard. And it's not about the money to everybody that's out there. And if you're raised with morals and values and God at your center, and there's a focus on purpose and planning and earning, then you'll find the right kids. It's about building relationships, and in a transactional society, the people that survive are the people that build relationships. And when you don't build relationships and you don't care about making sure you take care of that, going on that bridge every day and just nursing that thing, if you're not taking care of relationships and you become simply transactional and you act as if you can live without something and it doesn't matter, don't be surprised if that thing's not on the bridge when you go back on it. My question back to you is single greatest dad moment up to this point.
I mean, there's the whole birth, so we're gonna just put that kind of in the yeah column.
Yeah.
Other than that, all right, so I brought Noah and Owen out to Utica,
Okay.
a little bit inspired by your conversation with Gina on Sunday. We went to the zoo and we went to um there was this other, it's like some New York State Power Authority has some kind of exhibit out there. And then we went to the Munson Art Museum.
Okay.
And so I'm kind of an art museum nerd. Erin does not like art museums, and this is the first time I brought the boys to the art museum because she wasn't there. Um, but we were there and we were looking at the paintings, and I made them stop and look, and I said, "What do you see?" And obviously the colors and all of the superficial things. But then I actually had them really look in what they saw, and they talked to me about what they saw, and we had these conversations about kind of what these things could see or could mean. So that was cool. But I think the bigger story there is that Noah was in line for the restroom, and so one thing led to another, and a woman approaches me and she said, "Is that your son?" And of course, my first instinct is like, "Oh yeah, what do you do?" Right? But no, she complimented me because he held the door for her and he said, "Yes, ma'am," and "Thank you," and "Please," and well, I mean, he acted like he should, but she was impressed that he did, and so it made you feel kind of good that all of those things about manners and politeness and the things that we do as a family when we're not looking as parents, our children do, and that was an attaboy moment for me.
Well, that's awesome, and I can speak from firsthand experience that your boys are pretty darn terrific and make you feel very special. And I don't care what anybody says on the swim team; they love me more. So, with that being said, Adam Zaczkowski, the head coach of Le Moyne men's and women's swimming and diving. Adam, I want to thank you for everything over the years. You and I have only just begun. You always have a place here, and we always have our fireside chats. But I just want to say thank you for literally everything, and just the type of human being that you are goes a long way. And I wish there was more like you in certain places and nooks and crannies of this world, but I do very much appreciate the fact that we've been able to build something together, and that'll continue to be built. So I just want to say thank you.
Absolutely. And I do want to also say thank you for you giving a little bit of a spotlight to a sport that, if we're lucky, gets a spotlight every 4 years for about 7 days. I realize it's not maybe the most viewer-friendly sport out there, but there are a lot of people that swim, and there are a lot of people that dive, and there are a lot of people that this sport is important to, and having an outlet that allows us to tell not only my story, but the story of my athletes and what they go through on a day-to-day basis, and that they're here for the right reasons, and they're here to work, and they're willing to do that grunt work that doesn't get praised, just because maybe they don't put a orange basketball through a hoop or hit a baseball far. I don't think it diminishes what they do. I think it actually can amplify it because they do it without having that recognition. And they don't even really crave it. They do it because they love it. And so I appreciate you giving us a little bit of a sounding board to say, "Hey, listen, we're here. We're not going anywhere." And the athletes that we have had, and the ones that we will continue to bring in are special. And so I thank you for that.
It's my pleasure. It's easy. You find really good people, not just good student athletes, and it's always my pleasure. They're always welcome to be on the show. So with that being said, Adam Zaczkowski, we will talk with you soon. Be safe in your travels, and I will see you soon, my friend. I know I will.
Adios. Dan, thanks for everything. We'll talk soon. Appreciate your time today. Thank you.
All right, take care. I appreciate yours. that coming from Adam Zaczkowski. One more time here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We're going to head off to our fast break here inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. We appreciate you being here. We got Andrejas Duerig joining us in just a few minutes, about less than 10 minutes, and he'll be joining us to speak on his time at Syracuse, his time playing college football, and what he's doing now. Big brothers, big sisters, helping out East Tennessee, and so much more, including his love for sports cars, which I'm really jazzed about the opportunity to talk with him about that. You know I'm a big kid. So we're going to have some fun with that here after this fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Stay with us inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. We appreciate you.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Zaczkowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily, and we bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Avicoli's restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicoli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicollis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout, delivery, and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on into the neighborhood spot Avicoli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013 and go to k9campground.com as well. That's K9, KAMP, ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. K9 Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily? Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
And welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here with us Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and can't thank you enough for being a part of the broadcast here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Jerry says he loves the new bark. Well, Jer, both of those, well, I should say all three of them, because in Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Lily gives a bark, and in the campground, she gives a couple, and so those are all new, and she's just really good at getting it done. I can't say enough about my little pup. So I'm happy you like the new bark, Jerry. She definitely is her own star in her own right. And speaking of a star, somebody on the field, she must have heard it, because what? You heard that? My office and my studio are connected to each other, and she came right in right after I said she was a star. So not surprised at all that Miss Lily's like, wait a minute, you were talking about me? And coming up here on inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Love you, girl. We are here in hour number 2, and Andrejas A.J. Duerig is going to be joining me here in just a moment. Picture in picture in the from the Tennessee area. Very excited for that. So once we get him into the queue here, we'll have the opportunity to share some time with you and obviously AJ being a part of the show. So very excited for the opportunity to bring him in and have some fun here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. And there's a lot of greats that's going to be coming up with AJ, as he's been on the show before, no stranger to the broadcast. Spoke with him in his recruitment as well as his time in Syracuse, and now we'll have some time to talk with him about what life was like when he reflects back on that time at Syracuse, as well as life after football and working for Big Brothers Big Sisters. And of course, he has also jumped into the world of sports cards, so I'm very excited about the opportunity to be a big kid with him this morning. So with that being said, let's bring in the man here of the hour, Andrejas Duerig. Andrejas, how we doing here, sir? Can you hear us okay?
It's skipping pretty bad.
Okay.
It's skipping a little bit, but I can hear you guys. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. How's everything out in Tennessee?
Oh, it's good. Actually moved in October, but it's been a journey.
Yeah. And I know that, you and I talked about a lot of things off the air, one of them being Big Brothers Big Sisters, and you being a part of that, living in that world. So what can you say about why you chose to work with Big Brothers Big Sisters and why that has been so important to you?
So I think it kind of started when I was at Syracuse, I worked with Boys and Girls Club through an internship and kind of really realized that working with kids and being in that field was something that I was really enjoying. And then we had things like Lift for Life that we were part of that made it very enjoyable as well. So when COVID hit and I was back home in Chicago, I worked with Big Brothers Big Sisters, Southern Lake Michigan region as a rural area coordinator. Sadly, now their location is closed down this year. But when I got to Tennessee, worked in the school system for a couple of years, got back with it, and I just love what Big Brothers Big Sisters does. One-on-one mentorship there for kids and families that need a mentor in their life, and being able to support those families and those bigs, the mentors through communication and relationship building has just been very eye-opening and amazing to be a part of.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, for you to do something like this, there's community service that you do when you're on the Syracuse football team. How did that kind of maybe start things off for you? Were you always into doing community service and helping others, or would you, say being at Syracuse maybe opened up your heart and your mind to some other things that helped to kind of put you on this journey?
I think definitely it helped in a way. I always had a inkling of wanting to give back to the community. I always said, went to school in the south side of Chicago, drove down that road, Stony Island, every day the last year and a half of my high school career. And you just always hear about the violence, see the kids on the streets, not being, you know, doing activities, stuff like that. Even in Indiana, you had kids doing things they shouldn't be doing. And I always thought, like, hey, let's, if I make it to the NFL, let's open up some sort of organization to help get these kids off the streets, get them involved in activities, whether it be sports, academics, art, whatever, and have a place where they can be safe from all the craziness that goes on. And NFL didn't happen. So when I got to Syracuse and was going through that and worked with Big Brothers Big Sisters, or Boys and Girls Club, like I said,
Yeah.
I realized that there were places out there that I could already be that I could utilize and be part of that would keep me on that track.
Yeah, and for you, like you said, the NFL didn't work out. That's the goal when you go and play college football, right? You want to make it to the NFL. Bring me through that and that part of your history, that part of your life of working toward that, and then just kind of maybe that moment when you said, okay, you know what? This isn't going the way I want it to go. I'm going to shift gears over here. Just work me through that process.
Well, it's crazy. I really, was building up, trying to become a starter at Syracuse, and I was a 4-year starter on special teams. So on the punt team and the field goal team, and loved that. But obviously, you want more. You want to be one of those starting offensive linemen at guard or center, and so just kept working. Came into my senior year, was rotating with the ones during summer camp, and feeling good about like where I was, and dislocated my elbow, which sucks. So that set me back a little bit, and found out like this bone was all the way up here, like it just was not in a good spot, and came back from that and just kind of rode that second string wave. I wasn't as strong in my left arm as I was beforehand.
Yeah.
So then after the season ended, was really looking forward to pro day, and just like, if I can have a good pro day, I have a chance. I think it was maybe 3 weeks before pro day happened. It got canceled because of COVID.
Hmm.
So I was like, great, what do I do now? So I got with um, old coaches, old teammates, put together a pro day video and sent it out to everybody that had an email for an NFL team, um, and posted it online. I was just trying to get my name out there. Nothing came of it, and I, could have stayed trying to train and work out and chase this dream, or I faced the reality and was like, what are my chances at this point? COVID threw a wrench in everything. There's no easy way of getting my name out there right now. I just need to start looking at what I want to do with my family.
Yeah.
And so that's when I started looking at jobs and just being able to support.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, going through COVID, you're one of the student athletes that got affected by this. You're one of the student athletes that had to deal with this out of your control. This gets canceled, that gets canceled, and I've spoken with other people that like in this process of preparing for the NFL draft and trying to get your name out there and go to pro day and whatnot, where that didn't work out, where that was not where it was out of everybody's control, right? And that's not happening. It just made things so difficult, and it kind of had a lot of good players just kind of fall in the cracks type of thing. And like I said, I've spoken to other people about, how do you navigate through the fact that here you are, you're at this moment, everybody gets their pro day and some people get to go to the combine, and now there's like nothing going on. Do you ever look back at that? I mean, obviously we have to heal from the moments and forgive the things that have happened so we're not locked in that pain. But when you reflect on that, I mean, what do you think? Because it's like, here's a pandemic. It's something we're not used to, thank God, but it just distorted reality for a while. And in that distortion, not everybody had a fair shake and a fair opportunity.
Yeah, it's hard. To be honest, I haven't really looked back and thought about the impact that COVID had on my pro day. Obviously, like, I really wish I would have had that opportunity to be a part of a pro day. It's one of those experiences that, besides going to the combine, that and every college guy that wants to make it to the next step looks forward to. So not being able to take part of one did, really hurt. But I kind of hit the ground running, and I don't regret the decisions that I made with my career choice. So even though it's an experience that I won't get to have, there was other things that I did instead that were just as fulfilling for me in their own way.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, there's that divine direction, right? When certain things don't work out and other things do, and Big Brothers Big Sisters is something that has worked out for you. Why, to go a little bit deeper into it, with everything that you could do when it comes to community service, paying it forward and helping others, why is Big Brothers Big Sisters for you that place that just spoke to you the most?
Yeah, I think one thing that I did not know when I first started to work there was that my mom was a little in the program when she was in high school, middle school. I didn't know that until I got the job, pretty much. And so I think that's kind of really cool, knowing that and, being able to share that with, you know, each place that I've been at. Um, on top of that, it's just like such a unique thing. There's multiple different assets to their programming. You have community based, you have site based. So what that looks like is, getting a person like me or you to be matched with a kid that needs just a mentor in their life, and meeting out with them in the public, or um, doing it structurally through a school or an after school program. And I just think being able to be a part of that and help meet families where they are and get them uh, just that support that they need has been the draw towards Big Brothers Big Sisters, and the ability to work through COVID, being one-on-one mentorship, which is all, being out in the community, like I said, doing things outside and being able to work through that as an organization and kind of pop in and out of virtual and adapt, I think has been also a show to like what they do really does make a difference.
Well, and like you said, you found out and you didn't know that your mom was a little. What did she tell you of her experience, and how did that kind of move you?
Um, yeah, we've talked about it a little bit, and she absolutely loved her big, and she always said that she feels like her brother's big was better, um, but it's one of those things where she does fondly remember doing things with her big, and if it wasn't for moving around, she thinks he could have had a better relationship with her. So just kind of those things. I think it was a relatively short period compared to some of our matches that we see that I've worked with. And other than that, she was so proud that I was able to be a part of this, and she knows how good of an organization it is and how good the goal behind it is.
Yeah, and I'm looking at some things right now on the website itself for Big Brothers Big Sisters in general, and it says that there's a bunch of different ways to get started and changing lives for the better forever. It says seeks to change the lives of children facing adversity for the better forever. We operate in communities all across the United States, urban and rural, big and little. Our mentors work with children in the community, in their schools, on military bases, and many places in between. Our unique brand of one-to-one mentoring, like you spoke about, has a big impact all over the nation. It says it helps children achieve success in school, helps them avoid risky behaviors such as getting into fights and trying drugs and alcohol, and helps them improve their self-confidence. We hold ourselves accountable to our supporters by regularly measuring our impact. It also says it seeks to change the lives of children facing adversity between 6 and 18 years of age. The network inside of Big Brothers Big Sisters of volunteers, donors, and supporters comes from all walks of life, all backgrounds, and all corners of the country. And then that one-to-one mentoring in which a child faces adversity is carefully unique brand of one-to-one mentoring where a child faces adversity is carefully matched with a caring adult mentor in a relationship supported by professional Big Brothers Big Sisters staff members, changing lives for the better forever. So just looking at different things here, you can enroll a child, you can make a donation, you can get involved, and if you go on the website, you could see a lot of pieces of this. So from your experience, and I know that I'm not going to ask you to talk about anybody's personal situation because to me that's confidential, but to speak maybe about what you've experienced as a big brother, big sister member, right? Like you said, you could do it through a school and you can do it and kind of be involved a little bit, or you could be involved within the organization. Being in the organization, what are some of maybe those best moments that you've had at this point?
Yeah, I think for me, it's being able to talk with families and then be thankful that we're able to be consistent presence along with their child's big in their lives, and like be able to check in and just see how things are doing and just really be someone who cares about like what they're going through and be able to help them in whatever way they need, which sounds vague, but it's so many different things going on in all these different people's lives. um and I think like for me, like what has always been really amazing to see is just how excited the kids are to talk with me. because they know when they talk with me, they're getting to talk to something that I do put out there, especially for the younger kids who really, really like it. They get to talk to an ex-college football player.
Yeah.
They think that's so cool. They always ask me who I've played against. And so to be able to just have a very good conversation with 6 to 18-year-olds, like you said, and all of them usually are very interactive with conversation. It's been very cool just to be able to, see a kid who's going through so much just light up to talk to you.
And for you, the Columbia Northwest is where you are currently, correct?
Yeah.
So for you to, we've talked about East Tennessee. We've spoken about, like you said, a connection back and looking back to Chicago. When we look at the Columbia Northwest, and I'm looking at this right now in the studio here, that gives some background on the staff and whatnot. We got a picture up here of you and a little information that you give out to people saying, talking about being a program specialist. And even though you're new to the Pacific Northwest, you'll be going on your 3rd year working with Big Brothers Big Sisters as an organization. And then it goes into what you've done playing at Syracuse University in football, and also your degree in human development and family science. So a program specialist, your day-to-day is what? Let's see. Did we lose you here? Can you hear me okay? Let's see if he can hear us now.
It's skipping again, but
okay.
The last thing I heard was...
Oh, we lost him here for a second. So we're going to bring AJ back in just a moment. He is with us in the Pacific Northwest, and so we are working on making sure we got him in here. Okay, so we got him back on. AJ, can you hear me? Well, let's see if he can hear us here. So just popped off for a second. We will.
Yeah, let me see if it's easier to join on my phone. Let me see if that works better. Okay. Give me 1 second.
Sure, no problem. So what we're going to do is we will take a step aside from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. When we come back, more from AJ Duerig here with us, Syracuse Orange offensive line and overall football alum. And he'll be joining us here to continue the conversation on what he's doing with Big Brothers Big Sisters in Columbia Northwest, as well as more in just a moment.
Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McInerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Bryan and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Bryan and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So Canine Camp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. Canine Camp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club. Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that Canine Camp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making Canine Camp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry loving friend. Right, Lily?
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. We have Andrejas Duerig back here with us on the broadcast. We were talking about Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and what it means to be a program specialist. So, AJ, just what your day-to-day is like in that role.
Yeah, so sorry about that. I think this is working a lot better so far. What I do is just do monthly monthly to tri-monthly check-ins with the families, and that just looks like calling them up, seeing what activities they've done, making sure there's no safety concerns, that type of stuff. And just being able to talk to them about how they're doing. That's, big, parent, and little, that's in the program. Along with that, I am helping to start do enrollment, so enrolling new bigs and new littles, and getting them into the program and matched with their, new or first time big or little. And so it's just kind of, day to day on my computer, seeing what I have to do, and then making those phone calls or sending those emails, which it's a lot more than that. You get someone on the phone and, you're talking to them about, everything that's going on in their life with their family and their little, and the fun things they've done with their big and stuff like that. You just kind of help troubleshoot some of those issues when you can, whether it's by giving them resources or just being someone that they can talk to and, get it off their chest. So that's kind of what my day-to-day looks like.
And for you, I mean, to be obviously a big brother or a big sister and have that one-to-one relationship is important. And then in this program specialist world, you get to oversee, like you said, so many of these relationships. Do you find that you can still, build those special moments and have those key pieces with the family where you could take away and say, that big brother experience is still with you?
Yeah, in a way. I think for me in this program specialist role, it's a little bit harder to see that as we start to move towards me making these matches and meeting and being with these families from the very first step that they had. I think that will continue to be a thing that happens. I did realize when I was with Big Brothers Sisters in Knoxville, with the program that I was doing there, it was very much hands-on. It was more of a site-based, and that's where I would show up and all the kids were happy to see me, and so I did feel like a big in that way with there. But with this program specialist role, there are a few families that I have been with them since the very first step, and they super look forward to talking to me and letting me know things that have gone on with their big, and I do feel involved in a way that is more than just being a program specialist.
Do you feel like, do you have a moment or two where in this journey with Big Brothers, Big Sisters, where you genuinely felt like someone touched your life in such a way that that's never going to be forgotten and that ripple effect's going to continue?
It's gonna be an answer that pleases everybody, I think. But I just think that, every experience that I have touches me in some sort of way. You have a story of a family that, has dealt with so much adversity and has tried to work through it and climb their way back up. And that's, impactful to hear because, like, wow, like, what I've gone through is minuscule compared to what they're going through. Or
Yeah.
you look at a little who has completely flipped around and was so closed off and is now, after having 4 or 5 outings with their big, has just like opened up out of their shell. And it's impactful, to hear that and know that what we're doing is helping. And so I think there's multiple stories that just kind of stick with you as you go through this work.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, being within this world of big brothers, big sisters, I mean, you're making a difference. You're paying it forward, and you're giving to others in a way that can have a ripple effect in their life that lasts forever. Why pay it forward? Not everybody thinks that way, AJ. Not everybody lives that way. So why for you is it so important to give to somebody else and to seek to help and not just live in a world where you're only seeking to get, but you're actually giving?
Uh, it stems from what I dealt with going through school. I dealt with a fair amount of bullying, and it wasn't, easy. I saw my siblings, some of them get actually like literally bullied out of school and had to go to online school. But through that, we always had um, people that were there for us and would give, good advice. I think of this guy constantly. His name's Shane Tucker. Um, he was a coach of mine through Pop Warner Middle School, and he's just always been one of those guys that, if something was going on, especially when I was in high school, besides my mom and dad, that I'd go to just to get advice on the situation. And he really was one of those guys that outside of family was able to help keep me on, a track that I wanted to be on. So I think in a way, like, I had people in my life that were like bigs for me, and being able to, what I've always said is that I want to be able to do that for other people. I want to be someone that helps get a kid through a hard time, which is why I looked at this Big Brothers Big Sisters and coaching and things like that, just to be able to be someone that these kids can look up to. Even when I was in Knoxville working in the school system, I was a restorative interventionist, and the kids that came to me were typically kids that got in trouble, and I'd have teachers coming to me all the time and like, why are they having fun in your class? And they're supposed to be in trouble, and I'm like, well, it's because I'm just sitting there talking with them. I'm getting to know them, wondering why they're acting out, what's going on. And to me, that's just been my goal since, I had it happen to me when I was in school.
Well, and you bring up something here, and I'm sad that happened for you, but AJ, and I didn't know that, but I also got bullied in high school, and I didn't fit, I didn't fit into any of the places. I got made fun of for being someone who wanted to sit in the front of class and answer questions and get involved, and I was trying to be nice to everybody and be friends with everybody, and I went to a school that was very cliquey, and I loved my education from the school, but I wasn't a jock, I wasn't a nerd, I wasn't hanging out here, hanging out there, like this person, don't like that person. I kind of just wanted to be around everybody. And because that's just me, right? I come from God. God to me accepts everyone and loves everyone the same. So I don't see a world where I'm like, you're cool, you're not. And, I went to school with my best friend at the time, and I thought he was. And I'll never forget in 8th grade, it was the end of the day. I was coming out of the cafeteria, and he started walking with these guys who made fun of people. And I grabbed him and I said, "What are you doing?" And he was kind of like, "Come on, like let's go, you know, like you and me, let's go with these guys, right?" And I said, "I'm not going." I said, I'm not. And I told him, I said, like, don't, you know, like, stay here with me. Like, we've been friends our whole lives. Like, let's keep doing this thing. You don't have to go down this road. And it wasn't like a don't make new friends. It was don't make friends with those people that are out here bullying people. And I remember looking him in the eye. I remember exactly where I stood at the school. And I said, if you go down that road, I can't go with you. Like, if you go down there, I can't go. I'm not gonna.
Mm-hmm.
And he went down that road. And, you know, I think that road did lead to, you know, some turmoil and different things. But it was crazy because here I am in school, thought I wasn't going to go to school with my best friend. Then I found out he was coming to the same school. And then he went with the bullies and I didn't, because I can't live like that. And so I walked up and down the halls with my best friend thinking this was going to be the greatest thing in the world. And he barely talked to me the entire time that I was in school from 7th to 12th grade. So, you know, I was kind of feeling like I'm on my own. I'm in this thing by myself, come home, talk to my mom. I'd have headaches. I'd just be stressed out because I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. And I still to this day as a professional can say in the world of the media, there's disrespectful, rude people, cliques. There's like these weird kind of shadow. We all got each other's back, but we don't have this person's back. And it's kind of like high school again. But the difference between then and now is I'll speak up. You know, the difference between then and now is I'm not going to let anybody bully me around. Like, I know that bullies are weak people. And I know that they're typically people that don't feel like there's enough inside. So they have to make themselves look big outside. And really, honestly, those are the people crying for help. And I just hope that they get the help that they need and they're willing to ask for it, because pushing around other people doesn't really do anything for you. And it's never going to get you anywhere in life. And you will always see those people. It's funny. A guy that bullied me in high school, like all these years later, it flips around and I'm looking at him now and I'm like, wow, you know, like, and I, you know, and in the moment, it's like, okay, well, he bullied you, so now you can get back at him. And I chose to pray for him. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to see him fall. And right. So, you know, I'm sorry you went through it, but 100% of this screen to the people watching and listening up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe, like, we've been bullied. And how did you navigate through it, AJ? How did you work through it? And how do you feel today? Because to me, it was a very long, arduous process. And I still don't like that. I feel like, you know, the odd man. I mean, when I walk into a media room, AJ, and you never knew this, but I mean, especially with Syracuse media, they all will give each other credit. They will all, you know, if this person puts it out, then they'll give them credit, give them this. For whatever reason, it's almost like they have this like shadow society of, if it comes from Dan, don't say it. And so I'll put out an exclusive story and hours will go by. And then somebody else will put it out that none of them know. And they'll go, okay, we're going to credit that person. And it's like the weirdest thing. They won't look at me. They won't talk to me in most cases. And they never give me credit for my work. So I have to walk into a room of people that plagiarize from me, ignore me, disrespect me. And when I'm at Syracuse Fall Camp, I'm standing next to these people that have stolen from me and have given each other credit and kudos and awards. But for whatever reason, and I've never done anything to any of them, I never see anybody go, oh, you know, that was Dan's story or that came from Dan. And I never understood why. So I'm better off now in the way that I treat myself and how I've grown as a person. But I can honestly tell you that as a professional, those people don't go away. You just have to find a way to navigate through them, because for whatever reason, and I still don't know why, people don't respect certain people. And it doesn't even have to do with you doing anything to those people.
Yeah, I think, thank you for sharing. And I think kind of very similar. It's one of those things where, growing up, like I didn't let any of those situations define me. And I had, like I said, a good enough support system around me that I was able to work through it.
Yeah.
And now looking at it, it's almost kind of the same way. You look at the people that used to give you a hard time, used to bully you, used to say, these nasty things. And there was a time, when I first got to Syracuse, I tried disassociating myself with a lot of them, which, I was still friends with them on Facebook, even though like I wasn't friends with them. And, I'd go and, why are my friends with them? And I'd remove them or, whatever. And then all of a sudden, or maybe I wasn't friends with them. And then I get a friend request and I'm like, why? It's just like one of those things. I'm like, what? I'm not one that holds grudges. Like it is what it is. I'll accept it and, not even think twice about it. Because at this point, like everything that happened was 15 plus years ago, and I'm not going to hold on to any of that. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it is weird. And I'm with you on that. You get like friend requests from people that never spoke with you in the halls and they're like, "Hey, Dan, how you been?" And I'm like, "I don't know you like that." So like, it's funny how that stuff works out. But I would say, I'd love to get your thoughts here because I've talked about bullying on the show before. To someone that is being bullied, is being treated poorly, what would be your words of advice to them if they're watching right now and having a hard time, AJ?
I think, just find your support net, however that looks. For me, it was, a few really close friends that I stuck with.
Yeah.
And then on top of, a couple teachers, coaches as well. What I found out and I get reminded of constantly is, if you don't talk to anybody and you hold on to, everything that's going on, the only person you're hurting is yourself. And the moment that you do start to, well, no, I take that back. You're not only hurting yourself. When you shut in and you shut down, you're hurting the people that care about you the most as well. And so when you finally open up, about what's going on and you find that one person that, knows is a step above the rest, not in terms of, some teachers only care about, teaching you stuff. And then there are the teachers that actually care what's going on with you. And finding, that one teacher, that one coach, that cousin, that upperclassman, whatever it might be, to help, navigate these things that you're dealing with, that's important. That's how I was able to get through it. That's how I've talked to other people. That's how they were able to get through it. And it's just, one thing that my mom and dad always told me is, the more you have a reaction, the more the bullies want to mess with you. So when stuff got said to me, I always just brushed it off my shoulder, like, oh, okay, like whatever, like,
yeah,
go ahead and just keep talking,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
They like hearing themselves talk sometimes. So that's just the advice that I'd have.
Yeah, and I always go to, and I appreciate that. I always go to Psalms 46:10, "Be still and know that I am God." And I think it's Exodus 14:14 where it says God will fight for you. And if you just let that happen, if you're still in your peace, you keep being who you are, and you make the most of your life, just give it up to Him, and be the best person you can be, and smile. And enjoy. Go ahead.
Sorry, I really thought you were going to say the Bible verse that's on my arm. I have Psalm 46:1 as a tattoo on my arm, and that's God is an ever-present strength and refuge, or ever-present help in my. Oh God, I'm going to butcher this now. An ever-present help in my time of need. Gosh, now I'm going to butcher it. Now I feel all.
Now you say, I got it. So it says, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble.
Yes. God, a refuge in our strength and ever-present help in our trouble. And so that one I got put on my arm It was my first tattoo, so it was going into college. And I picked that verse because I didn't want to do your typical Bible verse that gets tattooed on you. Everyone has, John 3:16 and Philippians on their arm or somewhere in their body. And I went through and I looked, and this one really stood out to me. I'm like, well, yeah, everything that I've been through, like, he did give me strength, and I was able to, push through all those troubles. So, I thought you were going to say it when you said Psalm 46.
No, it's funny because, and I'll hit you with this. So when I was asked to lead Bible study as a male leader, Jenny Rose, shout out to her, in college at Marywood University. She said, I'm leading Bible study and I want to have a male leader and we'll lead together. And we were at an activities fair, and she said, can you make a Bible? Can you cut it out of construction paper? She's like, for whatever reason, I can't make it look like a Bible. So can you do that? And then, we'll put it on the poster. So I did it, and I wrote Daniel 10:21. And so the whole point of me writing that was like a subtle thing. It's my birthday. So, there is a book of Daniel, and then chapter 10, verse 21. I was like, okay, that's just me, kind of putting that in there. Now, I didn't know. So she comes over to me. I'll never forget this. She comes over to me. She had a green Bible that she actually gave to me, and it's opened up. And I said, okay. I was like, what is that? And she goes, you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. And I said, yeah, but what is? She's like, you'll figure it out. I'm like, oh, because it's Daniel? She's like, you'll figure it out. So I'm looking at it, and I was like, oh, okay, Daniel chapter 10. And I go to the end of chapter 10. It ends on verse 21 before it goes to chapter 11. So Daniel 10:21 exists. And it says, but let it be known in the book of truth, there is no one that will stand for me except Michael, your prince. My name, my birthday verse mentions my middle name, Michael.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So if I ever had anything on my body, it would probably be that verse and something with Saint Daniel and the lion's den and stuff like that. But yeah, so that to this day just kind of so when people are like, well, how do you know that God personally is looking out for you or cares about you? I'm like, well, my name that is also a saint's name that is in the Bible with my birthday verse just so happens to mention my middle name. I feel like that's God's way of saying everything that I do has a purpose. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. So here with Andrejas Duerig here, Syracuse Orange offensive line alum, and now with big brothers, big sisters. We are sports card people. We are big kids. And I'm going to tell you this, AJ, back in the day, if you and I were in high school, we would have befriended each other, would have went to each other's houses and shared these cards and taken a look at them. So do you have your cards with you?
Yeah, I have both my binders over here.
All right. So let's whip out the binder here. What do we got? Let's see. I know that you're a Minnesota Viking fan, so.
Yeah, so I have two different ones, and I forgot about this one, but I think it's a little relevant to pull out one of the first cards that I got. I have, so this is my Legends binder. This is where all guys that don't play anymore, retired, all that stuff. So I have a numbered out of 999 Donovan McNabb.
There we go. I like it.
So had to pull that one out, put that one on there. But yeah, like you said, I'm a Vikings guy, so I have my top loader binder. It all started with this Tommy Kramer on-card auto.
Nice.
My godmother got this for me. She had this card laying around. She goes to the bingo hall where Tommy Kramer plays bingo.
Yeah.
And she knew I was a Vikings fan. At that time, I hadn't started collecting yet. And then she got me that card and sent it to me. And I'm like, well, I need a place to put this. So I'm like, well, I can't just only have one card in a binder. So I started, going and getting more. I think one of my other favorite ones is a Steven Hutchinson auto that I have.
Yeah, I love it.
Just a really cool design. Yeah, 100%. but I have a lot in here. The way I have my binder organized is I have my autos, and then I have my numbered cards, and then patches, and then all my base cards. So yeah, there's a lot in here. I could spend a good amount of time. Let's see if I can do this since I'm on my phone now. Let's see. There we go.
Yeah.
There's the action shot. So some of my autos there, and then some of my numbered cards that I have. So
Yeah.
it's been fun. I've gone to dropping my phone. Gone to a good amount of card shows, talking with people, getting to know everyone that I bring this binder to, because what I used to do with this binder is it was half full of my Viking stuff, half full of cards I wanted to trade away. And so when I would hand this binder over to people, they'd look through it, and all of them say that the collection's like nothing they've ever seen, because people always have their niche. They like collecting only autos or only number cards or only one player. But for me, like, I don't care. I want everybody that is a Vikings player that I have ever heard of or ever watched play.
Yeah.
I was at a card show in Minnesota in June, and the guy's like looking through, trying to help me find cards. And he goes, "Oh, here's a Mir Smith Marset die cut. You probably don't want that." I'm like, "Put it down. I want it." And he was like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's a Vikings player. I don't care who it is. Like,
yeah,
I just want him." I have Moritz Boehringer. He played for the Vikings for like a year, but like I knew when he played because he's a German guy who got permission to have the umlaut in his name. Like, it was so cool. So I have his card. It's just things like that that I look for, and I do collect, and people that I show the binder to, enjoy that, because it's not your typical collection.
Yeah, no, and that's what's so cool about it is, right, you make it your own. And it's funny because everybody, like, now, they're coming out with these Kobe Bryant rookie cards and putting them out there, and like not even graded. They're like, "Oh, this is a $70 card," and it's him from like Upper Deck smiling with his sunglasses. I'm like, I have that card. Like, how's that card $70, not graded by PSA or anything like that? And then, but I tell people, I'm like, I haven't even broken out the binders at the shows I've been to. I used to collect like the whole run of rookies. So I collect the rookies, like the good rookies, but I collect the class. So I have a ton of Allen Iverson. I have a ton of Sharif Abdur-Rahim, Kobe Bryant, Stephon Marbury, Kevin Garnett, just collecting these people over time, not even thinking about that. And my Iversons and my Kobe's, I'm like, God only knows how much those are worth. But I'll show some of these because I've been collecting this guy a lot, and I have a ton of his. And so I have some Jaden Daniels. These are all rookies. So that's a rookie finesse. We have the color guard. So this is a patch of his burgundy there. That's that maroon color. And then there's some graded ones. So there's a retro rookie. That's a refractor here, and it's a PSA 9. And then this card, I traded for this. Had no idea what it was worth. It's like double what I thought it was. It's numbered, and it's a rookie card of Jaden Daniels. So that was kind of a cool thing to figure out. A notoriety graded card of his. There's another graded card of his absolute rookie. And then these are two that these are probably the most expensive that I have. They're his rated rookies. So there's the pink parallel refractor, and then there's the stars one.
Stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think the best pull I've had in a box was a purple shock Jaden Daniels rated rookie. Took it to my card show guy. He gave me $90 for it, and then the next week it dropped to $50, and I felt so bad.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, like, you feel bad. Some people are like, haha, I got that. You know what I mean? It's like how you treat the thing, and how you treat making the deal. So I'm gonna show you something in a second that has to do with in my opinion, doing the right thing in this world. But being honest, I do have this though. It's my first Kyle McCord with him on Syracuse, and Kyle is somebody I've gotten to talk to and build a relationship with. We did a really cool pre-draft thing together that you could go back and watch. And I'm a Jaguar fan. This is a 4-color patch, which it's not easy to find 4.
Right. Yeah.
And so how about this? I sold my Lamar Jackson Spectra rookie card. It was a rookie patch auto, and it was numbered. And I think it was numbered to like 75. It was this crazy, it was the turquoise version because there's a bunch of different ones. It was the turquoise one, and it was at least 3 colors, if not 4 colors. I did it in a deal for almost I think it was $695, the total deal.
Ooh.
That card right now is being like outrageously priced on eBay. Thousands and thousands of dollars, because I was like, oh, maybe I want to get another one. So it's been crazy, but I will show you these. So this is my red refractor patch of JJ McCarthy, because I know you're a Viking. This is my NFL debut of JJ, and so I had these other JJ. I go to GG Cards and Breaks in Syracuse, and if you ever come back up here, I'll bring you over to what I consider to be the best place. And so I'm over at GG Cards and Breaks with the guys. I get a box. I did a live box break, which I do box breaks all the time on Wake Up Call from GG Cards and Breaks. And so I'm on the show. I'm here with my buddy Brendan. We do a sports card show and tell thing. The last card from every pack that I opened, the literal final card that I showed, JJ McCarthy RPA numbered, and I already sold it.
That's a nice card. I have thought, do I try to get a JJ McCarthy auto? They're all so very expensive. So I'm like, I just got to wait. I got to see how this year goes. I'm very hopeful for him. But we'll just see how things are going. But just because you brought up, Jaden Daniels, I'm starting the Zenith state-of-the-art page cards. I'm trying to get 1 page of those. So I have my own little
nice
Jaden Daniels state-of-the-art. These cards I think are amazing. I think that the card art's just sick on them. So I'm waiting to get 3 more quarterbacks. I have Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Patrick Mahomes, Anthony Richardson, Joe Burrow, and Jalen Hurts so far. I just need 3 more to complete my page.
I actually have an autograph to show you. We're going to take a step aside. I'm absolutely going to Ryan Seacrest this thing. And so there is the card that I think may get AJ's jaw to drop. We'll find out what it is right after this.
Here's a message from Renee from Brian's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McInerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Brian and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Brian and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Brian's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Brian's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So Canine Camp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. Canine Camp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club. Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that Canine Camp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making Canine Camp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry loving friend. Right, Lily?
And welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We're inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, and we're having some sports card show and tell with Andrejas AJ Duerig. So I got a few things here that I got to show you, and there's two that have more of a story here, but I will show that I got this from my buddy Curtis. So this is somebody who has been on my show, and I still to this day can't believe that he was, but I got to thank Al Romano, his teammate when the Pitt Panthers won the national championship. But I have a Tony Dorsett autograph that's numbered that I just got on a refractor from the Immaculate Collection, which I love. I have
That's cool.
Graded JJ. It's a PSA 9 of his rookie. I have a Kevin Durant rookie card from the Sonics. And then this, AJ, I found this in a... So this is crazy. So I had two Pat Mahomes rookies. Didn't know. They were just on... They were in a stack of cards. Graded one. It got a PSA 10. And I sold it for almost $200. Sold the raw one for around $30 or $40 that I also had his. Found inside of my office drawer, there was a pack of cards I opened with a Steph Curry rookie, graded that and sold that. And then I got a PSA 9 from this card that was literally in a box for over 20 years. LeBron James's rookie card.
That's sick.
Yeah. So, I mean...
Yeah, that's a cool card.
And I do want to throw this out here really quick before I show you the other ones, but... This is in honor of my grandfather. I accidentally put this in my box, and I had a bunch of people making me offers for it, but I do not want to give it up. It's 3 of 25 in the world. It is a piece of his jersey and his autograph of Larry Bird.
That's cool.
So, do you have?
That's awesome.
Do you have anything else you want to show?
I mean, I have a couple. I already kind of showed some of them. I'm going to take this opportunity. I told him that I would say this. I'm going to take this opportunity to pull out one of these cards. So when I first moved to Oregon,
yeah,
within a couple of weeks, I was walking around Costco here and decked out my Syracuse stuff. I still have so much Syracuse stuff. Yeah. And walking around, and all of a sudden, I see another tall guy wearing Syracuse stuff. And I'm like, huh, so we kind of pass each other with, like, cues. Well, we go to check out. He, like, catches up with us. Ends up, like, we've ended up talking for a minute. Name's Quinn Smith. He was a GA in Babers last year at Syracuse. So he was a GA for Syracuse. Became really good friends with him. He invited us to church, started going to church, but he had like this literal shoebox of cards sitting, and he's like, he knows that I was into it, so he wanted me to go through it, see if there's anything, super cool in there. And he has this Michael Jordan error card where Jordan's name is spelled wrong.
That's insane.
And it's nothing like crazy.
What's it? What's it spelled? What's it spelled?
Jordon.
Oh wow.
So it's just one of those cool like cards, and he has these cards that are part of like a set and collection. I guess there's 23 of them in the set, and he only has a handful of them. But they have like this gold foil like around them.
Yeah.
And they're super cool, clean looking cards. So I'm just going through them for him, like looking at all of these. I'm like, these are really cool. Like I'm not even like a Jordan collector, but they're pretty cool cards. Yeah, those are some of the cool ones that I wouldn't have shown off because they're not mine, but they're still cool to flaunt.
Yeah, I was looking up the Jordan misspell. Can you show the gold, the one that you just talked about?
Yeah, so there's just a whole set that have a gold
Yeah.
lettering. This one's probably my favorite one of them, just because I think it's a cool art design. Then Jordan being Santa,
Yeah, those are cool.
and then there's the one of him holding the trophy.
Yeah, those are really cool.
So
They're unique.
yeah, 100%.
So I have this card, and I'm surprised I still have it. It's one. I think it's one of three. I know it's written on here somewhere, but it's from Illumination, and it's oh no, that's crazy. It's two of two, I think it says, but it's Cam Ward Dynamite Refractor autograph of the #1 pick.
That's cool. That's cool. Those dynamite cards are cool.
Yeah, so I have that. So you talk about doing the right thing. You sold the card, and then it was worth less, and you felt bad. Well, I'm going to tell you an opposite story. Somebody traded a card with me, knowing allegedly that it was worth far more. And so I used to trade with this one kid growing up right after church, and I love Damon Stoudemire, right? He's my favorite basketball player. And so he traded me like 2 Damon Stoudemire cards for this one card that I had pulled from a box that my mom got me on Christmas, Skybox Premium, and it is a Kobe Bryant rookie card. Well, when we traded it, the cards he traded to me were, and he's like, "Oh, you're getting 2 for 1. Like, you should be proud," or whatever. The cards were worth like $12 total. The card that I traded him, I had no idea. I'm a kid, $250.
Oof.
It goes up to $350, goes up to $450. He sells this card, and he's like, "I don't even have it anymore." Didn't care. It was kind of like, you should have known what it was worth, Dan. And so for over a decade, for probably like 2 decades, been looking for and chasing this card. Just wanted to bring it back home because I pulled it from a from a box of Skybox Premium that my mom gave me, like I said, on Christmas. And I really just wanted to find the card, and I didn't like the way that I didn't have the card, and I didn't know its value when I got it. So I'm looking, and back when I was with this one girl, we go to this card show on 7th North Street at the hotel, the Days Inn, that's now, something else. It's been different iterations. And the funny thing is, it's one of the places that I actually sang publicly. I sang for a birthday party there. And so we go to this place. I'm looking through this guy's cards, and I said, any like football, basketball? He's like, they're kind of all together, no rhyme or reason. So I'm going through the cards, and I find some stuff, and I come across the card that I had traded away years ago, the Kobe Bryant rookie. And I looked at the girl I was with at the time, and she goes, "Is that the one?" I go, "Yeah." I said, "Don't react." So I gave all the cards to the guy. Had like 8 cards. He's going through, and he's like pricing them, and he goes, "I'll take these." And it was like some ridiculously low price that he would take it for. He goes, "The Kobe Bryant, I'll say like $250." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "So you mean like," he goes, $2.50. So keep in mind, when I traded it away, it was arguably $250. Mm-hmm. He says $2.50. So it's now home with me, and I got it back.
That's awesome. That's a good story.
Yeah. And then this is the one that I'm hoping will get a good reaction out of you. I don't know if you know this about JJ McCarthy, but he doesn't always sign the same.
He has his little, yeah, he has his little mark that he puts on some of the cards.
Yeah, so some of the cards that he signs with a smiley face. Mm-hmm. And so some are just JJ, and some are JJ with a smiley face. This is an SGC graded Auto 10 9.5 graded card, so an almost perfect card, JJ McCarthy element that has his signature with the smiley face already in
That's
the grading
awesome.
slab.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've been looking. I actually realized that I think maybe 2 card shows ago that not all of his autos had the smiley face. And then I kind of like realized, and I was like, "That's super cool." Like, I need one with the smiley face, but just haven't been able to go find one that I like yet. So hopefully, I'll find one soon,
Well,
or pull one.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like, people will look at, they'll look at this card and, oh, that's cool. How much you want for it? How much you want for it? And it's not a cheap card, and
No,
so
not at
nobody's
all.
made me an offer yet, but he's with me. I sold my Bo Nix, which was 007 out of 100. I did sell that one, and I sold my Michael Penix autograph, but my JJ is still with me. But yes, just so people know, and like you said, you found out, not everyone has a smiley face. The one that I pulled that I sold for like $100 that did not have a smiley face. I think the smiley face is better, and
I do too.
Yeah, the element cards are hard to find. So that's some good stuff there. But I love the fact that we got to be big kids today. We need to do more of this. Like, as we get cards and do stuff, I think I got to have you on for maybe like a box break or something.
Box break would be cool. Yeah, we'll see what my collection, how my collection grows by then.
Yeah, but I love the fact that, you're into getting the cool designs and unique stuff, and that you're really just being a big kid having fun with this, because I feel like that's the only way to be in this world of sports card and trading card collecting. So very much appreciate Andrejas AJ Duerig doing so much for people, paying it forward, working with big brothers, big sisters. There is the notice on the west coast of the tsunami, so please be safe. I know you're out in the Portland area, so just be safe and take care of yourself. I will be checking in with you, to make sure that everything's all right. But my best to you and to your family and to all your loved ones out there, AJ. And, I'm happy we got to do this. It's been a long time, and I look forward to having you on in the not too distant future again.
Yeah, thanks. It's been fun. Thanks for having me on, and same to you.
All right, man. Well, take care of yourself. Be good, and God bless with all the work you're doing.
God bless. Have a good one.
All right, take care. That coming from Andrejas AJ Duerig one more time here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We're going to take our final step aside from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, and when we come back, we will have our final. We got a little note for you, so stick around. Got a little note before we hop out of here, and that'll be coming up right after this, where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Stay with us.
In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they're always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, We are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're going to be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst. You just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever going to have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvelange, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks here with you on 639 Delmar Place, and they are definitely the place to go when it comes to sports cards and trading cards, collecting, and there's nothing to me, in my opinion, that nothing like GG Cards and Breaks. Truly a wonderful and amazing experience. They're led by the wonderful team that features Josh and Anthony, and of course Alex and Joel and everyone there. I can't say enough about GG Cards and Breaks. Honestly, it's we just talked with AJ Duerig about sports cards, and no matter how old you get, it's fun, it's exciting, it's exhilarating to collect. To when you open up packs of boxes, you don't know what's in it. There's something that just keeps you a kid, no matter how old you are. And GG Cards and Breaks has found a way to really put that in a bottle and share it with us every single week. So head out there Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6, Sundays from 10 to 5. Sports cards and trading card collecting happens at GG Cards and Breaks on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. With that being said, I want to give a special thanks to my wonderful guest today, inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios and inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin'. Big time thanks to the wonderful Adam Zaczkowski, Le Moyne men's and women's swimming and diving head coach. Essentially 4 coaches in one: men's swimming, men's diving, women's diving, all under Adam Zaczkowski, who is an alum of Le Moyne. And of course, many thanks to Andrejas Duerig, who played at Syracuse and is now in Big Brothers Big Sisters in the Columbia Northwest region out in Oregon. And much love and many prayers to him and his loved ones and everybody out there with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and in general, that this tsunami subsides and that no lives are lost and nothing else is lost, but more than anything else, that we protect the human life, the wildlife, and all of our animals, and hopefully all of our trees stay up. Everything that is out there and has life in it, may it be safe and sound and glorify God and truly be protected by God, in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. In Jesus' most precious name we pray. Amen. So much love to that. I do want to make a note here, and I have the opportunity to do that. And Jerry said, excellent segment with Andreas. So thank you to Jerry. Appreciate you for that, brother. I do want to take time to let y'all know something. So I have worked with Le Moyne College for the past 4 years and 2 months around, is I think where we're at right now. And this partnership, this exclusive multimedia marketing partnership, is unprecedented. As far as anything that I know, nothing like this had ever been signed at Le Moyne College. So we will always be the first in making history in the first exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Le Moyne College. We have told countless stories with student athletes and coaches, administration, alumni, and future Dolphins. I have gotten to sit down with a man in his early 90s and told his wonderful, beautiful story. I have had the opportunity to speak with kids that I covered in high school that were going to Le Moyne and wanted to be on the show and talk about it. And I have met so many wonderful and amazing people. I want to thank Bob Beretta. Without him, this exclusive multimedia marketing partnership wouldn't have happened. I want to thank Gina Castelli because she introduced me to Bob Beretta. I want to thank all of the coaches that I've gotten to meet over the years and build relationships with, and all of the student athletes then, now, and will be. I want to thank Dr. Linda Lemura. I want to thank Pete DeLora. I want to thank, Mike Lindberg for seeing it through when he stepped in as an interim. So I really can't say enough about the people that I've gotten to interact with at Le Moyne, the stories I've gotten to tell. I've made the decision to step forward and to move on from this partnership with Le Moyne College after 4+ years. We've done 5 years of work in 4 years' time. So what I promised that I would do in 4 years, we actually have done the equivalent of 5 years and counting. And I just want to thank Le Moyne for this. Under promise and over deliver has been extremely important to me. Seeing it through, seeing my logo there on site in a place where my dad went to school, to be able to make the announcement on campus with my father really means a lot to me. So I just want to say thank you. There are bigger horizons. I think God is calling me right now to look to whatever he has planned for me now. And so I did make the decision to move forward after 4 years of this partnership, kind of like graduating after 4 years, right, of being a student athlete. So I do want to thank Le Moyne. I appreciate them. And I will obviously keep my relationships with many, many, many people in this Finn family. Thank you for welcoming me into the Finn family, for treating me as a member of the Finn family. And as we step forward, I would say stay tuned. There's a lot of things to come, and a lot of prayer and a lot of work on this. And I believe that God and I are moving forward in a healthy and positive way. And I'm looking forward to everything that is to come. So when you don't see Dolphin Dive on here and you don't see Le Moyne with the things that we've been doing, I just want to let people know, because I don't like to ever pull the wool out of, some. I don't like to do anything like that. So I'm letting you know that we have decided to move forward, and we have a plan for things to come. And there's a lot of great that is on the way forward. But in order to do that, we had to make some moves here and, take those first steps toward whatever God has planned for me. So God is great. And I love what we've done with Le Moyne. And I've given so much of my blood, sweat, and tears in my heart to Le Moyne. So whatever is to come, I trust God with that. And I'm very happy with the work that we've gotten to do. And I thank everyone that supported that work. So with that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, youtube.com and facebook.com, both /wakeupcalldt. And on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. You are with us all throughout the week, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And we thank you for being here with us. Of course, I want to give a special thanks as well to Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes and Apple Podcast, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. A lot of great things here that we get. Just wonderful that we get to be on all of these vast networks, and you can search us by going to any one of these channels and typing in Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. So make sure you check that out, and make sure you subscribe and follow us. Big time thanks to the Brooklyn Pickle and all of our listeners and viewers down in North Carolina. And thank you for your support and your love. Cannot say enough. Southern Pines, North Carolina. Got to make a commercial unlike any commercial I've ever done, where I got to put one of my impressions on that commercial. So we got to make history with the Brooklyn Pickle down in Southern Pines on 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina, down the road from Pinehurst Golf Course. And of course, our team of partners in Central and Upstate New York: Great Lakes Honda City, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Brakes, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Pizza Man, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Brian's Landing, Mother's Cupboard, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Ma and Pa's, the snack capital of the world, Avicoli's, and for a final time here, want to thank Le Moyne College for all the stories we've gotten to tell. Dolphin Dive, AD and DT, everything we've done with Le Moyne. 5 years of broadcasting in 4 years of time. Unprecedented coverage of Le Moyne, in some cases covering programs for the first time that they got really any publicity. And in a lot of cases, as some have told me, we've gotten to tell stories that were not being told and things that weren't being showcased and spotlit. And everyone got equal treatment of the 21 programs at Le Moyne. And it is my honor and my pleasure to have covered every single one of them, their coaches, and their student athletes. So God bless to Le Moyne as they move forward in their world, and as I move forward in mine, and in this community that we're both in together. Just know that I have always supported, loved, and done everything I could to help the Finns move forward. Of course, we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of the Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse. The Bobcat Buzz comes to you every single month. Student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni. I have a bunch of exclusives that are coming up. I've kept myself quiet on this, but I'm going to be able to tell you very soon. So stay tuned to what's coming with our Bobcat Buzz. You can find it all by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you'll find the Bryan and Stratton Bobcats of Syracuse also on wakeupcalldt.com, and underneath the exclusive, on the homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. The BSC Syracuse playlist is on YouTube, and for more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com and go Bobcats. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is also the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Binghamton University Bearcats. You'll find the Bearcats, student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni throughout the year in what we call the Bearcat Break Room and Moments with Marshall. You'll find all of this by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find the Binghamton playlist. You'll also find the Bearcats by going to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to binghamtonbearcats.com and go Bearcats. So a lot of great stuff coming up here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We do have some news that we're going to be bringing you very soon. So there is a lot to discuss and some wonderful things that we're going to get to do in this community. So I cannot wait to share that with you. Stay tuned for that. I may be putting something up on wakeupcalldt.com August 1st that you're going to want to maybe pay attention to. There's some marketing there of what is to come here. So very excited for that. Thank you to Adam Zaczkowski for being our final Dolphin Dive in our partnership with Le Moyne. And thank you to Andrejas Duerig for our opportunity to speak on life, sports cards, bullying, standing up for yourself, being good to other people, and paying it forward. So with that being said, from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, Facebook at WakeUpCallDT, X at CallDT, and Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT, I say to you, God bless, no stress, do your best. We'll talk soon.